So we've done that, and I've done this. So let's just quickly move on to proportion and frequency table. So now let's say now we want to look at this and I want to obtain the proportion of these our data set that we are working with. The data set is still HT that we assigned to, and there is still our height CSV data. We have assigned it to HT. Now, let's say we want to, okay, height in our table. So we are now assigning it to, we want to obtain the count, like what is the number of observation that we have within the height distance. So we are assigning, and I say table, use the table function. Is so our file, then under what we want to count here, if this is what we want to count, okay, we enter it and then we print it. So what you can see now, what this is telling us is that we have 0. It is counting that we have 0 in 52 places, and then we have 1 in 44 places. You can recall that if you scroll up, this is the variable that we are looking at, and then you can see we have 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1 up onto 96 variables. So this is what it's telling this, or this is telling us that we have 0 in 52 places and 1 in 44 places. So you can that is particularly useful maybe if you have a kind of a categorical yes or no, true or false, and then you want to like do the basic how many are yes, how many are no. So that is more likely useful. But when you have a continuous variable or your weight or your height, you actually don't, you might not necessarily want to actually use that. So that is also now let's say you want to have this the proportion. This is like the count, right? Now let's say you want to have the proportion, like that is like maybe like the percentage. So you use the prop function. Dot table. These are the function, and then now you want to use this function because you know you already assigned this to this height. Now you already have the height table, so you just want to use like find the proportion. Like once you already have the count, you use the count to find the proportion. So proportion. So you have it, your 0, 54, 1, 1, and then your 0.54, and then your 1 occurring 0.45. Now you want to take this to percentage. That is when you now have it in percentage form. So you use this round function. Then you now 100 multiplied by just the function that you use in just like the argument that you used the other time, prop table. You can just repeat this, use the hop argument, come to the front, just say round, like in the round up, open brackets, 100 times, because you just multiply 100 by what you have there to give you your this thing, and then round it off to digits, to 0. Like you don't want any decimal place. So you have it, your 0, 54%, your 1, 46%. You get that? Do we get that? Okay, let's just move on. So if you want to set it to do 2 decimal place, maybe 1 decimal point, you can change this digit to 1. You can see what you have. See, you have 54.2 and 45.8. So the digit is just to set that, and then you have the same thing, and then what you have here times 100, like you are just trying to round up. So now, let's say we want to, we've done like that. We've done our basic, what we call it, descriptive statistics, like your proportion, your mean, your median, like just want to call the count. Those are some of our basic there is a particular package that you can use for that, and then I think it's the most common one. They call it the table 1 package. It is most likely that you already have it, but if you don't have it, you can install it in the package section here. I don't know, but let's see if we can find it. Table 1. See, you already have it, it's inbuilt. If you don't have it, if it is not, check if it is ticked to be sure that you are able to have load it, because you take it to load. If you want to take it to unload, but you have to be able to load it to be able to use it. This table 1, so it is inbuilt. You already have it in there. So now, once we have that, what we want to do now is that we want to load that library. So library, we want to table 1. Okay. So that we have loaded that library now. So after we load this library, so let's say we want to in our data set, we want to look at the height and the height too. So we assign them that, okay, that is the variables that we have. So we are assigning them to, okay. You know now, because there are 2 things now, okay? That's why we are making them like we are trying to create a list for them. That's why we're having them, okay, height. You have to be sure that the spelling you are having here is that exactly as you have it in the file, because you're trying to use this, you are trying to pass an instruction that I should look for this within that particular file, and then if it does not match, it might bring out an error. So height 2. Okay. Okay, we've said that. Now we want to name our table. Let's say table 1. This is name. These are not function. We are the one assigning that. Your own you can use another name for either this var or it is yours. Okay. But for this argument that we use to create table 1, you can see that it pops up because it is like inbuilt. So create table 1. For that argument, you have to set, there's something that you have to set, this var. Okay, this is your variable. This variable has to be what you have assigned here. If you don't use the same name as what you have here, maybe here you use mine and you use love, you now have to set your variable to this same name that you have assigned your variable here. So, but because we use var here as well, we are going to use this one as var as well, because we are not telling that, because this first VARS is a constant argument of this create table function to use it. So maybe let's say I use different name to assign this list that I create. This equals to, now we change to the name of this one here. I don't know if I'm clear. So we use that. You can save this. This is like kind of the grouping of that variable. Now we are still looking at summary. We don't want it to group. We just do, okay, grouping, but we put a comma. We're not grouping yet. The data, the data that you want to create this table from, we name the data HT. Don't forget. Okay. Now this one is, you will see as you are typing, you will see, okay, maybe some information that can give you an explanation of that. So what this one is saying is that, okay, include NA, like maybe a missing number or something, maybe it should be included. So you are putting that as false. You don't want that to be included. So you run that. Now, since you run that, you know, this function, you assign it to table 1. Now you want to look at what your table 1 is. Okay. So now you have the summary. Okay, so this is now, you see what we have here now is that, you know, within this file HT, we have a variable height and height2. If you could remember in this column, these 2 variables, height and height2. So what you now have here is that you have, this thing is giving you a summary of those two columns, like the height, the mean, and then the standard deviation. Okay. So the number of variable is 96. So the mean of height is 99.7 with a standard deviation of 8.8. And then this is 95, the standard deviation 9.62. So this saves you the stress of trying to do it one after the other. And then you can just see the mean of the two variables that you have, because that is what you set here. Okay. So let's go on. If we, let's say we want to now, where am I? Okay, I'm here. Okay, let's say now we want to, like, we actually know the measures that we are interested in. We can also use this this function. Okay. This one that I run. Okay. You can use this let me be faster. We're asking this now, the tab, the table that we created here. If we are telling this, okay, this is to if you want to specify this to be non-normal, if you specify a variable and the non-normal, instead of getting the median here, mean here, what we are going to get is the median or the interquartile range instead of the mean. If we make any specification, for instance, let's say in the non-normal here, let's say we specify C to be height 2. Yes. So we can see that when we run this, we have the first one that we did not specify as mean, and then we have the one that we specify here. And then what we have here is the interquartile range of this height 2. Okay. So, we have created a table to recap. Okay. Let me see what this function comes up with. It's still the same thing as the first function that we have as a summary. So just give us the summary, so there's no difference in here. That's just an tab, non-normal. The thing is that if you put help, if you go to help and you let's say table 1, you're more likely going to see all the arguments and how you're going to use them in here, and that you can be able to read up on how to create table 1, the different arguments, what is each of these different arguments that you use, this var, what it means, the strata, this SMD, what SMD means, if true as in default, you get to be able to get additional information on all about all these arguments that goes along with these things in here. So, but then you just want to know the basic things you want to do. Okay, I want to find the mean, I want to find these. Okay, how do I go? How do I go about that? What do I tell R to look at, and then how do I put it in? So that's that. So now let's say if maybe one of our variable is categorical variable, okay, and then if you want to work with it, you have to be we have to treat it as we have to let R know that this particular variable that you are looking at should be treated as very categorical character and not as numeric. Like, for instance, let's say you have a kind of variable that you coded 1, 0, maybe 1 means presence and 1, 0 means absent. Okay, you know, 1 and 0 that you are putting it in there might be seen as numeric because they are number, but they actually, what they are actually decoding actually is qualitative variable, which is like a categorical variable, yes to no. So you want R to know, you want to let R to be able to know that this particular variable should be treated as a character variable, like true or false, like character, and not as numeric, because even though it is in 1 or 0 or like that, but you actually know that you could use that as a code, and it's not actually 1 and 0 that are numeric, but are that. So what you do, what you use, the thing that you do, like the function that you use to do that is what we call as character function. So let's say from our file ht, we have a particular function like that, and which is the height gt100. So we want to let R know it as character. So we are naming it as this. You know, this is not so. So we are assigning it. I will not tell R as character. Okay, as character. So read ht. This read, we are read this variable in ht as character, and then assign it to this new variable in this file as well. So it will create another column here with this this thing that will now be recognized as character. So if we run that, we run that. Okay, we already still have our library table 1. Now we want to run what we did all over again, like creating a table, like to see the summary, to actually see if there's the data that we have in there have been put in there. So like I said, let me now not use for this one now. I will now not use VARs like I was saying the other time. Let me use my var. Okay, my var. Create a list. Height as it is. Remember, as it is in the file that we are working with, so that it is actually read exactly. Okay, height gt 100 underscore character. Okay. Now, when I want to create a table 1, now I will not call this one table 1 because it is your preference, but you just have to know what you are doing. I'm calling this table 2 because I already have table 1 upstairs. If I use table 1 here as well, it will override that, but I don't want to override that. So I'm using table 2 here. So I'm assigning this to table 2. So create table 1, and then for this function, it has to go with this argument, the variable. So the variable, I'm asking it to create a variable, so I have to specify the variables in that table. So the variable is now this variable that I'm now saying we should create it from this variable that I just created offset. So this will be my var, okay, which it will read this from that data, okay. And now group, do not group. If I wanted to group, I'll put something there and I will clear that from which data, our HT data, and then do not include missing file. Okay, and enter. So if I now say if I now ask it to summarize my table 2, summary, table 2, tab 2. Okay, so what I have here now is that, you see, this is what I have here. There is a difference between when you look at this, there are two heights 100. This is the one that this height 100 is the one that is 011, but it is representing categorical variable but was coded. But R is reading it as a numeric data because it is 0 and 1. Okay, but this height underscore char is the one that we have actually instructed R to read it and see it and treat it as a character variable and not as a numeric variable. Now, look at how R treated them. The one R is treating as a numeric variable, even though it is a character variable. Look at the outcome. See, it is the number observation is also 96. It's calculated the mean, calculated the median, calculated the 25% quarter, the 75% quarter, the minimum, the maximum, the skew, and all of those other things. But the one that is being treated as a character variable, look at what we have. Number of observation is 96. We have the level, like it is 0 and 1. Okay, 0 is count 52, which is 54%. 144, 45%. Do you see how the two variables, how they are treated separately? Because when they are interpreted as treated as actually as we want them to be treated. So that is that. So I don't know. We have now at the section of the classwork. I don't know. Can we now? I want us to now do some little bit of classwork. After this classwork, we're able to finish on time. It's just about what we have left is not very much. So now, the data set that you have.
Sorry to interrupt, but we do have 16 minutes to go. Will we be able to do the classwork as well as what we have left?
Maybe we should take the classwork as an assignment. Or I don't know.
Okay, why don't we do the classwork as an assignment, and then anyone with questions can reach out to me, and then they direct to you or whichever arrangement we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I agree. Okay. So what we have after that is just a visualization. So visualization, of course, is just let's say chart, and then how to see for our data maybe in a more relatable form, like in pictorial form, and then bar chart and histogram and what have you. So what we have here is like the histogram. So you get your histogram using the function hist. So let's say histogram, and then we're still looking at our data. HT now ask, we want to create the histogram of, let's say, height 2, for instance. You click that, see what we have here. This is one of the functions of this window. The files is where and then the plot. Under the plots tab, you can see this is histogram. This is like the inbuilt one. And then let's say you can redo it again. Histogram. I think the data, and then the variable there. Let's say now let's use this other variable now. See that it's different. Okay, well, so you have the frequency on your y-axis, and then you have your variable, the height on the x-axis, and then you have it plotted out. And then if you want to export that, you can click on the export and save it as image, or copy to clipboard and go and paste it to maybe your PowerPoint presentation or your Word document or whatever, what have you. So but then there are also some other things that you can do. This is the inbuilt one, but you can actually now edit and modify and customize your own graphs, a histogram, whatever, what have you, by yourself as you want. Maybe you want to change the color, you want to change the bar, you want to edit the label, and all what have you. So what you use, the package that you use. Remember, in last class we talked about package as being the app that you download from Apple App Store, and then and what have you, maybe if you are using Android. So the package that you actually use for plot and graph and everything in R is what is called the ggplot2 package. So if you also come here to maybe package, it's most likely going to ggplot. You see, it's already inbuilt, it's already ticked. You have to check it is there. So once it is there, and it is click, that means you have to load it. So you just load it by saying library ggplots2. So you load that library. So now, once you load that library, let's say now we want to create our histogram. Let's say my histogram. Okay, my histogram, use the ggplot function. Okay, what you want to create, you want to create from which data? From your HT data, which is our height data, and then you specify the aesthetic. Okay, the aesthetic, the first argument that comes with the aesthetic is the hex, which is now the hex. Then what is your hex, which is the data that you want to plot? You will now specify like, okay, I want to plot height. It will take the height from that your data in. It will take this data height from this variable height from this your data HT. Okay, you have that, run it. Okay, now you want to do some maneuvering with what you're going to have. Ideally, if you just print my histogram with that, okay. Okay, no, okay, no, okay, no, that won't work. It won't work. Okay, so what you do, you now want to, my histogram, you want to like specify what we do. You want, okay, you're telling, okay, create a geometric. Okay, it won't work because you have not actually just say ggplot. You have not actually, we have not actually indicate what type of chart you want to plot. So here now we're not saying create a geometric histogram. Geometric histogram. Okay. And fill it with color black. Okay. The outline of the color, which is this argument, the outline, also black. Okay, black in colon. Alpha like 0.25, being width like each of the bar in the histogram is equal to 2. And now these are the labels, our labels. Okay, we want to have on the y-axis, we want to have the frequency. And then on the x-axis, we want to have height of kids in clinic in centimeter. Okay. Okay, you know why? Okay, this will be my histogram.
You didn't assign your P, sir. You didn't assign your P.
Huh?
You didn't assign your P. I think that's why you are getting the error.
I did. Okay, wait. The error is specified. Is lab non-numeric. Okay, no. Let me go through this again. Okay. Okay. Black color. Again with 2. Okay.
After the bandwidth,
there's a bracket after true. There's a close bracket here. So yeah. That's a bracket. Yeah. Yeah. That's what that means. With plus y equals to frequency, x constant points of q. Let me copy this. Let me change this mine. Histogram. Exactly why this thing the same thing. So okay, you see it works. I don't know what is different between what I have in here, and that's another thing with this could be the spacing that I have within all this data. So we can see this the histogram here. I can walk around and let's say change my fill to let's say yellow. Do you see that? And then I can change maybe my fill to let's say purple. I want to change my the outline to red. So this is what if you use the generic histogram function, you won't be able to make all these changes to just bring out the black on black for you. But if you use the ggplot will be allow you to be able to walk around your data to change a little thing. You can change the size of each of these bin. That is you change that to the bin width here. You can change this. Maybe you want to change this to 3, or you can change the label. You know, you have the frequency here, and then you have the height of kid. You can change what is. You can just have that as kid height or what have you. Maybe you just say kids height. Can just change that. So it's changed, edit that, and then you can change the frequency. So those are some of the workaround that you'll be able to do when you use the ggplot, and then you can increase the bin width. You can change it to 10. You can do a lot of things. So that is just everything that we have for this lab, for this session. So I don't know if anyone has any question. You also have to close bracket after this centimeter. Okay. Okay, that's true. I have 2 close brackets here, 2 brackets here. And that's true. That's true. Thank you. I think that's the error that makes this thing not to work the other time. Let me see. You see it work. Okay, that's the brackets. It's the 2 brackets, second bracket that I have outside here. So yeah, that's true. Thank you. That's the problem with her and this thing. One single character in your script or in what have you, you'll just be running out. It is that single bracket, extra bracket that I have. So is there any question? We ran out of time. I think maybe in the last 3 minutes, can we just maybe try to do the first, maybe the first few parts of this classwork? We have 3 minutes. If we don't have any question, we have already downloaded the data that we have. Can we try to import it? And maybe somebody can share their screen, and then we use the person's screen. I stop sharing.